Hi, everyone. I am so excited because I am speaking with Melissa Larsen, and we are talking Hold Up Your Book. Melissa, this is her debut novel, Shudder. Yeah, look at that cover. I only got to see it on my Kindle, but I love looking at it
So
so,
beautiful.
so much. I love this story. And like I told you, you're so young, and this story was so different. I love when I open up a book and the story takes me somewhere and the concept, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This is amazing. And I even looked, I'm like, wait, was this a debut? Is this a day? Yes, it's a debut. And that is the biggest compliment I can give you is when you cannot tell. I'm thinking, it could be 10 books in. I have no idea, but it was
Thank
that
you.
good. And I'm going to let you tell us all about this story and then we will talk about it.
Okay, thank you so much, really. It's such a pleasure to be here. So, Shudder is basically the story of a young woman who is grappling with her father's death. She runs away to New York, finds herself auditioning and agreeing to star in the latest project for this mysterious, very famous indie film director's new project. The only problem is that he won't give her a script. He just tells her she has to trust him. I don't know. It's started writing this story through a lot of like heartbreak and a lot of it was kind of a form of therapy, but it was also this way of writing the book that I was looking for in a bookstore, because at the time I was 24, like Betty is. I was looking for a thriller, a psychological thriller, because I love them, that wasn't necessarily about, a wife and mother who had secret, what the dangers are of being a young woman in our current climate. And it just kind of spiraled out from there. It started with a date, and I was like, how can show you how a date can go so wrong?
I I wanted to mother her. Okay. As I'm reading it, I'm like, no, you are making, okay, let's just take a step back. And she does have a mother. Let's just,
Mhm.
she does have a mother. And I loved the mother-daughter relationship. I thought it was very real. I have daughters that are in their mid-20s. Well, my other daughter just turned 30, but my other daughter who's in her mid-20s, it's so hard. And especially when they're coming out of a tragedy, they're fresh. So I thought you did a really, really good job. And so even though it's a psychological thriller, you still put relationship in there. I mean,
Yeah.
lots of relationships, really, when you think about it, because we got friendships with her and Sophia. Okay. There's that friendship, and you're like, are they good friends? Are they not good friends?
Yeah, like
You
who's
know,
her loyalty really to?
even you're feeling bad for right in the beginning when she's sleeping on their couch and they have rules right away,
Yeah.
so it's like she feels welcome but she doesn't feel welcome. And I'm going to read the first line to the book
Oh.
because I thought it was really good. When I reread it again today, I thought what was really, I'll read it first, then we'll talk. Since landing in New York and crashing on the small lumpy sofa in Ben and Sophia's apartment, I've heard Anthony Marino's name 1,000 times. And I thought what you did in that sentence, which is what I tell authors that are new, you packed so much because you're telling us lumpy, meaning like she's not comfortable. She's on their sofa. This is not a welcoming type of a situation,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yeah.
it seems like, so then they're building it up about this director. And in the very first chapter and second chapter, there's a build up to this guy. He's
Yeah.
awesome. He's make or break you. And what does an actress want to hear?
Yeah.
They're like,
It's you, you're the star.
yeah, it's you. And he meets you and he loves you right away. And like right there, red flag, you're like, no, no, no,
I the red flags.
red
Um,
flags everywhere, red flags. But
oh
her
my God.
vulnerability, and you just feel for her because she's like, they don't even tell her there's no script. They're not that nice because I mean, Ben kind of, I think he knows that there's, she's going to be going into this movie that's a very strange experiment at best.
Yeah, exactly. And she's so vulnerable already just from this tragedy. And this entire project is designed to exploit that vulnerability. I'm actually so glad that you just kind of deconstructed the first sentence. I mentioned before I teach creative writing to primarily to high school students. On the first day of class, I always do the same exercise where we deconstruct famous first sentences of novels or even just not
Yeah.
so famous first sentences. I find it just so helpful to break it down to show them, what is at play here? What is at work? That first sentence was the first sentence for years. It's always felt comfortable to me. As you said, it shows you what Betty is going through, but it also gives you kind of a mystery of like, why is she there? Who's Anthony Marino? Why would you hear his name so many times?
Yeah, why are they
Yeah.
talking about him 1,000 times?
Yeah.
What is your since you teach creative writing, what is your favorite first sentence?
Oh God. I love the first sentence. The one I always start with, and this is not the answer. The
Okay.
one I like to show them the most is actually from American Psycho. It's a very frenetic first sentence. It gives you so much detail that you don't really need. It begins with a warning, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Then he plays it off like that's a sign he's reading or graffiti. And, it's this wonderful way of like you're diving into this book and it teaches you how to read the book.
I always loved "It's the best of times, it was the worst of
Yeah.
I just remember that from when I was in school and I was reading it, and I remember that first, I was like, "Oh, this is so cool." And I was
Yeah.
young, and but I do when I open up, I get so excited about a book when I open it up and when I see a great first sentence. And like I said, I went back and I was like, oh my gosh, now having read knowing the ending and then going back and reading that first chapter, you have to start at one place and you see Betty's vulnerability. I was like, I was and it was like it took me back to that her
Mhm.
because I'd gone on that journey with her and then the
Yeah,
ending. And so it has to show her as somebody else by the end. And
definitely.
that's what I thought you did so beautifully with her.
Thank you so much. That's just so wonderful to hear. And I started this novel actually in an MFA workshop environment, and the entire 2 years I only showed classmates about the first 100 pages, first 150 pages. It was so funny the different comments. Like by the end of it, by the 150 mark, they were like, "I can tell that your writing is getting really confident and relaxed." And it's like Betty.
Oh,
Like, thank you, but that's Betty.
that's her, not me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've been confident the whole way. I
Oh,
mean, as confident as you can get.
well, I see great things for you. I can't wait
Oh,
for your
thank
next one.
you.
Oh, seriously. I
I'm
see
just
great things.
blushing entirely.
You know what? I get very excited because now that I've read it and
Mm.
and I know that it's a debut and I go on, I mean, I get emails, okay? If you can only imagine, like all stuff like that. Well, I saw an email today, and I can't tell you who gave it because I have no idea, but because I get lists, and your book was on the list.
Oh,
It was
that's
like
so
new
wonderful.
thriller, thrillers to read this summer or something. And I'm serious. I gasped. I was like, oh, no, it's there. It's there. That means other people are getting this email and it's there.
Oh my God. No, I feel the exact same way. I saw this Bookstagrammer's post of, different book mail and mine was in it. And first of all, that is just like a, lightning bolt to my head, like, oh my God. And then I saw a comment that said, "Oh yeah, I'm reading Shutter next." And it's just
And you're
I
like,
need to lie down for the rest of the day.
I
It's so
know that's the
wonderful.
thing. It's like out there. It is being talked about as a book to read
Oh,
this summer. So it makes me so. I feel like like it's my baby, and I'm like, no, I read that. I read that
no,
first.
it's your baby too.
For all of us early readers, we're like, no, we read that book. We get it. But
Like, I
okay,
know what happens.
I know what happens. You're just gonna read it, but I've already read it. So I know we're such a part of book snob society on Instagram.
I love
Always
it.
like when someone said they read it, they're like, "Oh no, I'm in the middle of it. You got to the end of it before."
It reminds me of those, I grew up right in the height of the Harry Potter releases.
Yes, you
I
do.
remember buying the new book. One of my friends would say, "Oh, I've already read it." And it was like, "I bought it yesterday. It came out yesterday." And she's like, "I stayed up all night."
No, I have a son, and he's 32, and he was right in that Harry
Yeah.
Potter, and he's my reader child. But what he would do is like he would have me take him there like on a Friday night,
Oh
get
my
the
god.
book, and I wouldn't see him till Sunday. I'd like push food into his room, like sir, me. And we talked about this today because I'm like people who weren't a part of the Harry Potter don't understand because we get him right so quickly, right? Like we get books
Yeah.
ahead of time. Most of the time I get books, and so to think about the fact that you had to go to a bookstore, wait, like go in, and then he wouldn't, because he was so afraid that by Monday, like everybody was
Yes.
talking about it in school. So he was like, I got to know what happens or they're going to tell me and then it's going to ruin it.
Exactly, and you'd have to, like, I remember calling ahead to Barnes& and Noble to be like, "Can I reserve a copy of the new Harry Potter?" Like, you'd just be terrified that you would not get that experience.
Exactly. And now my younger children have all read them.
Oh my god, I love how it stays.
Yeah, Harry Potter is on, but yeah. Okay. So before we go though, I want to hear about what you're doing next.
Right now, I'm working on a new book. I can't say very much about it, but I love it so much. Like it's been kind of a grieving process letting go of Shudder. Feel like I grew up with it a lot and I've spent so long with it. It feels so electric and it was kind of hard to be like, okay, I can't write about Betty anymore. What else is there? It feels like falling in love again. I feel like I've done my eat, pray, love kind of experience working on a new book.
I'm really happy that you are writing another one though, because I think that's the healthiest thing to do as a writer is to put that one on the shelf. Once you're out there promoting the one, to be working on the next, and then working on, like some
It
of
definitely is keeping me sane.
yeah, exactly. And some authors are like 3 books in while they're talking about, like they're editing and they're writing and they're
Those are my heroes. I don't know how they can do that. I am so monogamous and kind of slow about it. Just
you know
like a little
You
tortoise.
will. You will. I'm going to talk to you. First of all, I want to talk to you for the next one, but I'm telling you, by the time we're talking about your fifth one, you're going to be like, "Oh, I've got him cycling. I got him going through."
Like, which one is this that we're talking about? Oh yeah.
Exactly. All right, show us the cover one more
Oh
time.
yes, it's so beautiful.
It truly is. Did you have anything to do with the cover, or did
The
Yay?
one thing I told them was, it's a very small fussy thing is I don't love covers that have like a single lens. Like I knew how easily they could make this, kind of you're looking into a camera like the James Bond opening. And
Yes,
I just said, please don't do that. I just hate that. And then this was the first thing that they came up with. And it was just like,
I love I
it's so
love it.
beautiful.
I'm so happy for you. Thank you so much for talking with me. And like I said,
Oh,
I'm
thank
going to be here for your next one, and I want to be there when I can be like, I interviewed her for her first book. Like I've never.
And this is my first interview for it, so this is
That's
huge.
so awesome. Well, I can't wait to see what it does this summer after everybody gets their hands on it, because it comes out not today,
Next week.
next week on the 15th. So this will be
Mhm.
out before then. So everybody go pre-order, go get that pre-order on Amazon and we want to hear all about it. So thank you so much. You have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Really
bye-bye.
appreciate it.